Did you ever think about PMS? Is it foisted upon you? Is it possible that in Orthodox Church, if women were having their time in a month, they couldn't go behind the iconostasis? And it's one of the rules. It's like, and it probably goes back to the Old Testament in Leviticus with the laws of blood, and there's all these rules for menstruation. Why? Because the women were having their flow of blood, and that attracts demons. And think about how crazy women get. They have PMS PTSD, right? Or you do, you have it. You know, if you have a girlfriend and she's on her period and they go crazy, and like, why? Well, it's not an offering to demons, but demons are attracted by blood. So, for example, when there's the teenagers and they're doing this to themselves, and I don't mean playing a violin, and they're doing this and you're like, why would you do that? You're hurting yourself, and it's drawing blood. Well, the kids will tell you, these traumatized these children that are hurting, they'll say, when I do this, it makes the pain go away. And it doesn't make any sense because it's like you're making pain. And they're like, no, it just makes the pain go away, makes them feel better. It's an offering to a demon. They're being tormented by demons, and when they do that and the blood is drawn, it's an offering to the demon, and it makes the demon go away until you have a whole bunch of tiny little violin lines on your arm. And then I mean, you're not supposed to do that. There's, in Leviticus it says don't do that when you're mourning. Don't cut. Don't bleed yourself when you're mourning and stuff like that. It also makes me think of, I mean, it doesn't make me think of, but do you remember that Bryan Singer used to have the red light pool parties? Yeah, he had a pool, and he would have these parties, and it was all dudes, and like boys and men, and they would have these parties, and he would put red lights in the pool because it was a Terrazol party, and they would bleed in the pool. So one, you're doing the act that puts demons in people, which is backdoor pleasures for some. So it hurts for others because blood, it draws blood. So you're drawing blood and demons are attracted. It's also part of mind control and MK Ultra stuff. They're like, how do we put demons in people? Up in their asshole, that's how. We learned it from Kinsey, probably. So, and ancient occultism. Aleister Crowley was all about that. Aleister Crowley used to do a thing called staring into the eye of Horus. The eye of the Horus is an asshole, and he would have spread cheeks, and he'd just like look into it, and he would divine the secrets of the universe. Oh, there's a magic. There's a wet one. So all this stuff, if you watch videos on how people sell their souls, or how you want to get initiated into becoming a famous person, oral or anal is what people have been saying. It's that little Tony clip. Did you ever see the little Tony clip? It was like that you have to do that. If you do oral or anal, then you can have whatever you want.
He was basically saying either you let them peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is do what they want to do to you just for a night. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no.
Well, why is it that simple? Because one, it's a way to put demons in you, either up here or down there. And you're, probably like selling pieces of your soul or something. But the Bryan Singer pool parties where Kevin Spacey and Gandalf used to hang out with him. There's pictures of him. There's Ian McKellen with a couple of teenagers, and like, hey, and there's the red lights in the pool. Do you ever see the pictures of the red light pool parties? I'm not going to put them in this. I've never saved a thing like that. But it was true. He used to have red light pool parties because they would get bloody assholes from in the pool. And that's a demon fest. It's also an orgy, and it's also against God because he said, "Get out of I made that for. Nothing's supposed to go in there. It's supposed to come out of there when we're waste, the place of wastes." And also, it's a way to control somebody. You can, whatever. Who's the boss? That kind of thing. It's a way to humiliate people. Guys in prison know about that. So anyway, blood attracts demons. There's probably also rules where, like, if you're married, even, you're probably supposed to not enter into your wife until that week's over, because demons are involved. Like, if there's always this blood and all this stuff coming out of there, and then you're going in there, demons are there because they're attracted to blood. That's pretty gross, right? Just saying. Also, you know, I don't know, just insert another Bryan Singer asshole joke, and I don't have any. So I'm gonna go. This is a really, I don't know if you should see this one. I really need to do this video. I don't know, I'm just thinking about the iconostasis at church, which is behind the altar at church. That's what the iconostasis is if you don't have one of those at church. But women weren't supposed to go behind the altar where the tabernacle is, because if they were bleeding, and the reason is because you're going with blood, which attracts demons, and that's why they can't go behind the altar. It's because of demons. Because I remember asking in church, I'm like, well, why aren't women allowed to go that? And he said, because it's because of their time of the month. And I was like, okay, well, what does that have to do with why they weren't allowed to do that? There's also the thing about women when they're, I don't think it was just biblically, I think it is biblically, but it's also historically in other traditions, like women weren't supposed to winnow the wheat or have anything to do with food, you know, like shelling the wheat or whatever it was when they were having their periods. And it probably has to do with demons or something, I don't know. But they were like, no, you're good, not this week. Because blood. And there's all these rules in Leviticus, I think it's Leviticus 15 maybe, or 15 or 18, I can't remember, where it talks about basically don't have anything to do with blood. Don't drink it, don't eat it, spill it away, don't play with it, you shall not consume the blood of you shall not consume any living thing while its lifeblood runs through it, or whatever like that. No eating of blood. And why? Because you get something from this. It attracts demons, and because that's what they want. That's ritual sacrifice. Blood sacrifice is all about demons. The Incas, the Aztecs, the Mayans, old Baal worship, all this offerings to demons is that they want blood. They get something out of this. And now we know that the thing they have, the adrenalome, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the real word, but they have this stuff called adrenalone, and it's like harvesting the terror from the adrenal glands or whatever, that adrenalized, it's like drugs made by the body, and then they harvest it, and it has to be from terror or whatever. So you get people in a frightened state and get them to release all that adrenaline stuff, and then that's the adrenalome that they harvest, and they get high on it. There was an HBO show where they talked about this. It was a show called True Blood, and it was like a lurid soap opera predicated on vampires. And the humans in the vampire world, like, it was all the vampires came out of the closet, as it were, and they said, we're vampires, we drink your blood. But if the humans drank the vampire blood, then they would get high from it. And what do we know about vampires? They drink blood, therefore they have no souls. Or maybe it's not therefore, but like, if you want to become a vampire, you can live, but you have to live off of drinking the blood of the living, and the price is your soul. And how it works in the vampire, mythology, or whatever you want to call it, is it's not that the vampire drinks your blood and you become a vampire. The lore is that you drink the blood of the vampire, and that's how you become a vampire. Like, if they deign to let you drink their tainted, soulless blood, then you can be a vampire. Which means don't drink blood, not even if you're going to do YouTuber boxing event. You're not supposed, not animal blood, not anything. You're not even, I think you're not even supposed to let the dogs lick up the blood or whatever. So yeah, no blood drinkers. And what happened when, I think it was Prophet King David was told to go in and wipe out the Amalekites? He said, kill it all. These people, the Amalekites means blood drinkers. So they all had blood guiltiness. Everything was drinking blood. So they said, kill the people, all of them, all the animals. Don't keep any of the livestock. It's all tainted because they're blood drinkers. And then like just wreck it. You just trash everything and don't take any animals or women and don't do any. They have to go. They're the blood drinkers. And so God knows that He doesn't like anybody playing with the blood. And in the Old Testament, how it was is that He had His chosen people that He set apart. But they wanted the same things as the other people in the world. So He said, okay, you want to do, everybody's doing blood rituals. Here's how I want you guys to do blood rituals for atonement. And that was, the people before Jesus arrived. Then Jesus said, okay, I'm God. We don't like this blood stuff. I'm coming down here in the flesh. I'm going to offer myself up as the one-time final offering for all this blood sacrifice stuff. I'm making a final covenant. That was the end. It was supposed to be the end of these rituals. No Shabbat rituals, no shooting Charlie in the neck to cut his throat. None of that. All those days are over. So when Jesus showed up, and when people pray, I pray that we be covered in the blood of Jesus because His blood was shed to cover our sins. He was the final offering, born in a food trough to let you know that He was an offering. He grows up, He gets on the cross, He dies. He tramples down death by death. That was the final blood sacrifice, because everybody was doing blood sacrifice and putting their babies to be burned for Baal, and it smells like bacon and all this horrible stuff. And God said, I never wanted that. He's like, why do you think I really like you guys taking something that's mine and killing it and saying, hey, we killed it for you, here's the blood. He did that as a concession because of their hearts were hardened, and who knows what people were like back then. It must have been really probably dumb. I'm not saying we're so great now, but they're like, no, we want blood. Like, they do blood sacrifice, and God's like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. And He set up all this stuff for them to trying to work, my opinion is just to try and work with them. So you can dispute that if you want in the comments. I don't debate, I don't argue. So Jesus was, this is a known thing, this isn't my opinion, this part of it. Jesus was the final blood sacrifice. We're not doing that anymore, but we're also to be like Jesus and be willing to lay down our lives for life eternal, to die for a friend. It's something that, God says, if you lay down your life for a friend, you're getting in, okay? But you better know that I'm Jesus, that I'm God. So, that He is God, rather, not me. I'm just a guy. But I mean, to know that Jesus is God and that His blood was shed for us. And it was not easy for Him to just get up on the cross. It's like, well, that's not a big deal for Him. He was God. No, it was a big deal. He was praying because He knew they were coming to get Him. Because, again, He's God and He's omniscient. But He knew what He had to do. And He's praying. And He's like, come with me, guys. I'm going to pray. Watch me pray. And they're like, okay. And then they fall asleep. And He's there praying to God, please let this cup pass. And He's sweating blood. He's so stressed. Which is a real phenomenon. People can, under extreme duress, sweat blood. And Jesus is sweating blood because He knows. He's like, let this cup pass. He's like, I know that it can't, though. So He gets up on the cross. His blood is shed for us. No more blood sacrifice, all right? God didn't even like it. He had all these rules in Leviticus for, here's how I want you guys to deal with blood. Here's what you can do. Here's what you don't want to do. Here's the yearly thing where we sprinkle the blood, and then that's it. And then you want to do offerings to Baal. No more kids. You can burn animals and then divide the animals and eat and I think they were allowed to eat them, right? Like, they do the offering and then they would eat it or whatever. And it's like, well, I'm just basically, it's like praying over food, but it's like trying to get them away from all the shit that they were doing because of the fallen angels entering into human women, turning them into witches, and then God turning them into mermaids and sirens, and then the Nephilim running around, making human hybrids and all this crazy stuff they were doing. And then God flooded the earth, and then they started, like, within 100 years they were doing all the same horrible stuff again. And then you get to the people of the old Israel, the old covenant, that crucified Jesus, except for the ones that turned it around. And like Jesus told the apostles, like, go around to the people of Israel and try and get them first, as many as can, and then go out. It's to the Gentiles too. We got to get everybody we can, because these guys are crucifying me. His people are crucifying him, not all of them. And no blood, no playing with blood. And like these guys, like these like Reddit guys or whatever you want to call them, and they have like, oh look, here's a cup of my girlfriend's monthly blood or whatever, and they're drinking. It's disgusting. All right, that's demons. That's someone who's got demons in them, and the demons are getting an offering, whatever some people are getting out of that stuff. That's what spirit cooking is. It's bodily fluid stuff. Pee-pee, poo-poo, love juices, blood. And then that's what Aleister Crowley had. He said every morning he had cakes of light, which was just, put little, do cooking, have his witches cook stuff for him, and make muffins for him, or if he did it himself or whatever. And then he was always eating abominations. The Scarlet Woman drunk on a cup of abominations. It's probably spirit cooking ingredients in there, which it just means horrible things that people do. And blood of the saints and all this stuff. That's the Book of Revelation stuff. So, no blood. Not even horse blood. If you're doing YouTube boxing, not even. It's bad. You're probably getting something from this. There probably are gains to be had as an athlete for drinking blood, but it's demonic and it is literally against God. And you're demonizing yourself, whether you recognize it or not. Like, you're just, every time you're drinking that blood, you're making yourself a little more. Look at the people that are actually vampires that really do drink blood. Like, they're not, you know what I mean? Like, it's a fetish for them, and they're like all goth and emo or whatever, and they're like, we drink each other's blood, and we have blood drinking parties and shit, and they drink animal blood. Yeah, look at how lame they are. Look at how stupid those people, look at how lame that is. That's so lame, right? That's the degradation. That's what happens to you. If you're like, I'm going to be a real life vampire, I'm going to bite, we're going to drink each other's blood like Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. They're divorced, by the way. Look at Megan Kelly. Is that what I said? Megan Fox. Look at Meg. She probably drinks blood too. Megan Kelly probably drinks blood. She probably had to at least do it once or twice or something. She probably did oral or anal. Probably both at the same time, maybe. Anyway, forgive me for being so crude. But anyway, Megan Fox openly said she's a witch, and she has 3 little boys, and she turned them into 3 little girls. That's not good. And she drinks the blood. Well, I guess maybe not Machine Gun Kelly's anymore. They got divorced. And then what happened after that? He got away from her. He blacked out his tattoos, and his music sucks. I don't really know his music, but everybody says that his new stuff sucks. And because probably he's not making any more devil contracts, and he blacked out all of his Satan tattoos and everything. And you got to give it all up if you want salvation, whatever it is that you got with your devil's deal. You should just hand it over and give it up, and then whatever it is you think you got by doing evil, it could be so much more. Like, think about what the creator and maker of all things has for those who obey and do what he says and repent. God's huge on repentance, because we all did stuff we're not supposed to do. Tell him you're sorry and give back all your ill-gotten goods. And if you want pieces of your soul back, stop doing, sex acts for money and power and fame, I guess. So, I'm sorry. I would like to apologize now that this video is wrapping up for just opening it with PMS. Because I'm like, it's probably gonna have like 12 views. They're like, what? No, sorry. I don't want to, I don't want anybody here to know that I'm listening to this talking about period blood. Sorry. But I'm just saying, like, it's true. If you want to know why your girlfriend goes nuts, or if you are a woman, it's because you got blood and the demons are attracted to it and they're tormenting you. You're being tormented. because of periods. So my only advice is, like become a gymnast and I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. I dated a girl and she used to do gymnastics, and she said that prevented her from having, it prevented her from having that monthly blood flow. It like retarded her development or something as a woman. So kind of like her doing gymnastics kind of shut down periods. I don't know. That's not advice. You just have to deal with it. That's what you have to do with being related to Eve, I guess. That's, Adam was doing fine in the garden. The whole rest of the world was going on outside the garden. He's in a special place. Something wasn't right. So rather than take a woman from the outside world, which did exist, Adam in the Garden of Eden had a woman made for him, formed from his own rib, right? And she messed it up like right away. Like Adam was there for like who knows how long by himself and everything was fine, and the next thing you know, Eve shows up and they get kicked out. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, it's not an affront to women. I think they're great. I love them. I mean, that's how we get here, out of the womb into the world. It's better than staring at the eye of Horus, just so long as it's, sanctified. So, no blood stuff. And also, stay tuned. I'm going to have a video coming up about how killing people in video games is you committing ritual sacrifice over and over again countless times. How many people have you fragged? You're doing ritual blood sacrifices by murdering things in video games. I mean, maybe it's okay if you're playing a game where you're like in Quake killing demons or Diablo or whatever you're doing in there. I don't know. But if you're like in a game where you're just like slaughtering other men, or you're in fantasy quest games and you're like slashing down people, or you're killing flora and fauna in Mario Brothers, you are doing, I guess that would be either exoteric or esoteric types of rituals, like where you're not doing the thing but you're symbolically doing the thing. I forget which is which. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. No blood stuff. It's gross. God said no. I mean, you have your free will, but I don't know why you would use it to piss off God. You're already messing it up, and I don't even need to know you. We sin. Tell me you're sorry.